Good morning. Now, it has emerged that more than £100,000 has been given to the personal representative of Iran's supreme leader via the UK's furlough scheme. The centre this money was given to is a mosque and a cultural office and is a major centre for Shia Muslim worship and education. And as it operates as a limited company, it made it eligible for the UK's COVID furlough scheme. However, the Times has described the centre as essentially an outpost of the Iranian regime.
Oh, well, good stuff. Joining us now is Potkin Azarmehr, an Iranian-born journalist and documentary maker. Thank you very much. Look, I think it's worth at this point just describing kind of what this centre really is and why it is just an outpost for the Iranian regime.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. This is not just a religious centre. I mean, this is Supreme Leader's representative office, and they're not apologetic about it. They're quite open about it. The heads of the centre are directly appointed by the Supreme Leader, and when they take office, the Supreme Leader's letter of appointment is read out, and they film it and they put it on their site. There's actually 5 of these sites throughout UK. There's London, Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle and Glasgow. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for Iran's network in UK, to be honest.
And I'm just, reading here, Iranian officials regularly condemn Britain as the little Satan. The centre's website explicitly condemns Western materialism. I mean, obviously a very problematic organisation in the eyes of very many people. But on the other hand, it is a registered UK company, and this was unavoidable, wasn't it? Because they were legally entitled to that money.
Okay, well, I just want the British taxpayers to look at the implications. This is a hostile state that every Friday encourages the faithful to chant "Death to America, Death to England." So their taxes are now being paid to representative office of a state where it encourages its people to chant "Death to England" every Friday. Surely there should have been more due diligence. I'm sorry, I just don't think this is good enough to say, oh, well, they were a limited company. They should have known.
I do agree with you, but I mean, that's exactly my point. I mean, if this is how problematic the organisation was, that's almost a failure on the part of the people in charge of ensuring that the companies we have in Britain aren't promoting this kind of thing, isn't it?
Well, it's someone's failure. Look, the British government can't even reopen the British Council in Iran. Why are they allowing 5 Islamic centres throughout the UK to spread Iran's network and ideology? And like I said, this is just it's not just the Islamic Centre. They have other institutions and education centres, etc., etc. Why are all these being allowed to proliferate throughout UK?
Well, in your very knowledgeable and expert opinion on this particular topic, then, does it look a little bit like we're sleepwalking towards a disaster? We've almost let... I don't want to use an ideological phrase. Well, I suppose I will use it. Potentially the phrase an ideological cancer, as it were, in, and then therefore it's now being able to grow, and we're in a way funding that. What's the bigger picture with all this? Could it really damage British society? Do you think?
I think it's been said before. Our representatives and leaders are not leaders. They're more concerned about not offending than leading and taking decisive decisions. And they've just been sleepwalking. And look, the children of all these Supreme Leaders representatives that come to the UK along with their families, they get UK visas, they become British citizens, and they then are sleeper cells, to be honest with you, in effect, or they could be.
Yeah. And finally, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the fact that Richard Ratcliffe, obviously the husband of Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe, is on hunger strike again outside the Foreign Office. He's obviously protesting at the government's lack of action, essentially, its failure to resolve the issue with Nazanin. What do you make of the fact that he's again having to do this, because the government seemed to not be doing very much at all?
I've spoken to him before, and I've told him, look, he can go as many hunger strikes as he likes. He can, make plays and throw up balloons in the air and, do colourings and all these sort of things. The Iranian government is not going to care about any of these things. But if he gets the British government just to threaten to close down one of these Islamic centres, I think then something could start moving. He seems to be more concerned about blaming the British government than blaming the Iranian government for the arrest of his wife.
OK. Well, Potkin Azarmehr, thank you so much for joining us.